Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we're doing the 2023 top 10s, as we are going to look at my number 2 featherweight in the world right now, the former 2-time WBA Featherweight champion Leigh Wood of the United Kingdom. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So, Leigh Wood, the former 2-time champ, honestly, he might be number 1, and we'll get to that in a minute. Let's go over his year first. He entered the year as the reigning WBA champion after he had upset and knocked out Michael Conlan in the 12th round of their fight in 2022 after being behind on the scorecards. It was a big win. It elevated him up. But a lot of people were looking at him as, you know, not elite, if you, so to speak. So in February, after a failed September showdown with Mauricio Lara, Wood wanted that fight to happen. So he turned the fight on and accepted the fight for February. And they would go at it in February. And Mauricio Lara, Leigh Wood would be dominating the action. He was outboxing, outworking Lara through 7 rounds. Towards the end of the 7th, Mauricio Lara landed a wicked left hook that dropped Leigh Wood very hard. He got up on unsteady legs and his corner threw in the towel. And Mauricio Lara would upset Leigh Wood and become the new WBA featherweight champ. Well, I don't really know if it was an upset, but he had come from behind after being outboxed. Wood, though, invoked his automatic rematch clause. And in May, they would rematch. But the day before, at the weigh-in, Mauricio Lara would lose the title on the scales as he came in way overweight. The fight would go through, the belt would still be on the line, but it would only be on the line for Leigh Wood. And Leigh Wood would outbox and outclass Mauricio Lara in the rematch and regain the WBA featherweight title. Following that win, Leigh Wood was contemplating his options because he had a mandatory defense due, but he asked the WBA an exemption because he wanted to defend his title against former 2-time champion Josh Warrington in an all-UK battle. And in October, the two would lock horns, where Wood... what happened to him, he did to Warrington, what happened to him in the Lara fight. Josh Warrington was completely outworking and beating Leigh Wood to the punch. I had him winning 5 rounds to 1 heading into the 7th round, and then Leigh Wood in the 7th landed a wicked combination, hurt and dropped Josh Warrington. Warrington got up on very unsteady legs and the referee stopped the fight, and Leigh Wood would retain his featherweight title. But that wouldn't last long because Leigh Wood had mentioned before the fight that featherweight was beginning to be too much, trying to get down to the weight, and he wanted to move up to super featherweight and seek out a showdown with Joe Cordina at 130 pounds. So I think less than a week after the victory over Josh Warrington, Leigh Wood would vacate the WBA featherweight title. Now, that is probably why he's not number 1, because he gave up his belt and he's on the move to 130. Now, one thing I stopped doing was ranking a fighter in a weight class that he has not fought in yet. Even if he's scheduled, even if he drops the title, I'm not doing that anymore. You have to fight in the weight class, and then I will rank you. But not before that. So Leigh Wood, an impressive year for him. He got knocked out. He came back and got beat the man that knocked him out, and then was able to come from behind against Josh Warrington and knock him out. Impressive. Now he's going to be venturing into the 130-pound weight class. I honestly think Leigh Wood could battle Joe Cordina right out the gate, because Joe Cordina, if Leigh Wood doesn't, Joe Cordina is going to end up facing the winner of Shavkat Rakhimov and Eduardo Nunez in a mandatory title defense. So I really think Leigh Wood will get an opportunity in an optional fight for Joe Cordina in the first half of the year. And then we'll see what happens. I would probably favor Cordina in that fight, but who knows? Maybe Leigh Wood is even better at 130 pounds because he fills out the weight better. Maybe he's stronger there. So we'll see. It's going to be good, though, if they do chuck it out. But if not, I think Leigh Wood, if he doesn't get the Cordina fight, I think he'll debut and rematch Josh Warrington at 130 is what's going to happen. So I do believe Wood's going to get a big all-UK battle and make a case for himself at 130 pounds. And I do think he'll do well enough to finish in the top 10 at 130. So we'll see what happens, but that's it. That's what I got. That's my 2023 top 10 on my number 2 featherweight in the world right now, the former 2-time WBA champion, Leigh Wood of the United Kingdom. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.